Alright, how's it going, guys? We're back here on the GT6 server, and Thiosis here has designed this contraption. I'll give you kind of a 360 of it here, and it basically is what we were trying to do on Bear's Den GT6 today on the Shadowtech server for processing magnetite into iron from dark ash. We're using dark ash, not carbon. And he actually managed to get it to work with these vacuuming freaking Gregtech hoppers. Now, Greg said he might make limiters for the hoppers this week, so we might not need this after this week, but it's a good redstone challenge, and I enjoy redstone challenges. So I'm going to let him explain it.
Howdy, howdy. So essentially, on the back here, we got our weight sensor that's gonna tell the hoppers when to drop the next batch. And whenever it does that, it locks up everything else to prevent anything else from pretty much falling in. The vanilla hoppers are the only things that drop things slow enough so that we can get the exact batch. And from there, you just watch your iron melt.
Okay, and you have these hoppers set to 3 and 7 like we did on the server today on the stream.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want your hoppers to shoot out anything other than the stack sizes you want.
Okay. And you said that the 2 and 6 is because of them ticking one thing too quickly. So you always want to set it one lower.
It's for the delay, right? Yeah, exactly. Greg's hoppers are like I said, a vacuum. They want to suck up everything that's above them.
So this essentially should work with any 2 ingot or dust recipe that is above 1 stack size. So you could essentially use it for bronze and zinc if you did it in double batches, because then you would have this one set to 1 and this one set to 5. But this is for magnetite, and you could use the same one with carbon instead of dark ash, I think. But
Yeah.
I don't know how well it would work because there isn't enough room in here for all the carbon and the dark ash, because it's 14 to 6 or something like that.
Yeah, you'd probably have to cut the batches in half. Like, there's definitely going to be some maths involved to make sure that you're not overflowing your crucible, because then you're going to get some meltdowns happening.
Yeah, I would actually, if I was doing it, would cut the carbon down to small dust, and then you could essentially do the exact same thing as you do here.
Yeah,
because then the carbon would be, if you use 2 carbon smalls, would equal 1 dark ash full. Alright, so let's kick this on. I added a thermostat just so we can see the temperature. Now, you did say that this setup has to use a Invar burning box. That's why we're using Invar instead of steel or chromium or something, because of the speed that it pulls from the ingots out.
Yes, just because of how fast the ingots cool down before the hoppers can extract your ingot. With a bronze, you'll get a 2-to-1 ratio. You'll get 2 normal iron to 1 wrought iron. Because after the first 2 comes out, then your crucible overheats like a madman. Steel would be a good effective burning box if you do want 2 iron, 1 wrought. Steel will bring you up to about 2300 Kelvin, so it's not too bad. But if you want only iron, Invar is the way to go. It's nice and slow, and you don't have to worry about overheating.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Other than if you set up an ignition system, which would really be wasteful for electricity, I'm trying to think of how you could use a faster one and still get iron, but you'd have to have a way of turning it on and off all the time. So you could use like the igniter.
The electric.
Or yeah, using an electric that actually you can cut the power to.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I was able to figure out.
Yeah. So you can use this with electric as well, and then it would be even safer. Because I know, like Skyra was telling me with magnetite, he doesn't find where the electrolyzing it recipe is worth doing because it's 112 EU per tick, and it takes 200,000 EU to do 7 magnetite to 3 iron, and the only thing you get out of it is oxygen, and just about everything has oxygen. So that's why
Yeah.
I was wanting to set this up, was for to show anybody how they could do it without having to do it manually all the time, and not have to worry about wasting that 200,000 EU just to do 7 pieces, because this will be a lot cheaper on power doing it in the crucible with, charcoal.
Well, yeah, for sure. No, this was definitely a nice challenge, and it worked out well.
Yeah, it's nice and compact. It doesn't take up nearly as much room as Junior's hopper or dropper thing. Did you ever see Junior's dropper thing he made up there?
No, I actually I haven't. Oh, that's that big one upstairs here.
Yeah, that big one above my
That's what
smelting.
that thing is.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, yeah.
just for making alloys.
Oh wow, eh?
That was
And this
my
thing here,
etho
it is
inspired.
expandable too.
Oh, you can do this with like 3
Well,
elements?
right now, I'm working on getting that third element into it. I've expanded to try and getting this back here for the double shut off.
Hmm.
Trying to get it to work with 3 hoppers, so I might be able to have one like this that you could do with hematite.
Oh, okay, that'd be cool.
And since it requires 2 items of the calcite dust and dark ash, you could set this thing here to 1, and it would still work with the hopper delay. So that's my next project I'm working on,
All right,
getting it to
well,
work with 3.
I'll be glad to check that out when you get it, because I save hematite until I can electrolyze it. I never process hematite. Because I can just throw in an electrolyzer for 80 EU a tick, 5 to 2, done. It's so much easier than this 10 to 2 or 5 to 2 to 2.
10 to 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a pain in the ass for me. So, and there's plenty of
But if you could
magnetite out
throw,
there in the world.
oh, true. But if you could throw it all in one chest and have it do it for you, why not?
Yep. All right, so we're actually getting our iron out right now. I gotta try to do this carefully so I don't burn to death because I don't have a heat suit on.
Yeah, neither do I.
Back up here, so you can see the irons coming out. That's the first 2 right there, and there's the third one, which looks like it actually turned to rot, dude.
Did it turn to rot?
It looks like it.
Oh yeah, she's a little pinkish, eh?
Yeah, she a little dark. Let's see when it pops in here. Yep, it definitely did turn to rot.
Yeah,
So
she went rot, eh?
yeah, but that's not really an issue. Most things, as long as they're Gregtech, can use either or. It's only vanilla recipes that have to have, or other mod recipes that have to have regular iron.
Iron specific.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't harm you too much getting to it at 2 to 1 ratio, but I had it working for 3 to 3 for mine. I don't know. Maybe I had 1 extra wire.
It might be because we're on the server too, because server is going to have a little bit different delay than what single player does. It could just be, internet lag that causes it to go off a second too late, or a tick too late, I should say. But it
That's true.
definitely
But
works, and it's
if you
not
check,
overheating.
yeah, and if you check your hoppers, you still got your next batch sitting waiting.
Yep, that is awesome. And you can always use the shut off thing that I set up on Bear's Den to shut this off automatically for you.
Absolutely.
where you put the thermostat to red alloy to a piston. You'd want to use a liquid or gas burner for that, so it'll shut off instantly. Well, unless you're gonna hopper in something like lignite or sawdust or wood or something like that, where it'll go off really quickly, because charcoal will burn for a long time in these Invar burning boxes. So even with the shut off, it probably will not turn off quick enough unless you use like a vanadium or something better than that crucible.
Yeah, gotta
Because
love that 100% efficiency.
yeah, you gotta love them Invar burning boxes. They are nice. Although I have to say, my tungsten one is pretty nice at 95%.
That is true.
Yeah.
One thing I definitely always suggest with a setup like this is that not everybody has piles and piles of magnetite. So if you want to run just a few batches and then make sure that nothing else ends up in your crucible, set yourself a little lever on-off switch. As long as it's connected to the main line, it'll lock the two vanilla hoppers, and then you can be free to change your batches anytime.
Oh, so this is your main shutoff right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, at least that way, there you get nothing else trapped in the lines, and then you get one or two things in a crucible where you have to break a hopper to get at it.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So I'm going to attempt, if Junior doesn't mind the mess, building one of these on GT6, on Bear's Den GT6, on the server sometime. Hopefully before Greg changes things on Thursday. If not, I'm going to build one, which you're going to have all kinds of fun trying to play with that after he changes it, because we might not need the vanilla hoppers then when he puts the limiters on them, if he in fact gets
That
them
would be
on
nice. That'd be nice because then I can compact this real tight.
there. Yeah, that would be awesome. All right, so that's our video for today. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know. I can always ask Thiosis, because as I said, this is his brainchild. I had no development whatsoever in this, other than I guess maybe the inspiration to get him to build it.
Yep, watching you struggle, that was all I needed.
Yeah, as long as I can inspire people in some way, that's all I care. But
sure.
I'm sure he'll have no problem with answering any questions y'all have, so let us know. And have a good one,
As
guys.
always, in the comments.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, man.